Pratim, let's take a look at this new set of essays you've sent us. The German school subjects. Let's see what you wrote. The pie chart illustrates the popularity of various school subjects that were chosen by the Germans in 2017. Overall, what stands out from the chart is that whereas physical education was the most popular subject, information technology had the least preference from the students. The overall popularity of IT, geography, and biology combined was less than the popularity of any other subject. All right, that's quite good. Let's move on. In terms of the most highly preferred subjects, 22.9% of the total students took physical education as their school subject, followed by history at 22.4, mathematics at 19.5, and physics at 18.1. Almost half of the total students chose physical education and history. Okay. However, when it comes to less popular subjects, just 3.7% of all German students selected information technology as their subject of study, followed by geography at 6.4 and biology at 7.1. There is one noticeable thing that just 15% of the students prioritized 3 subjects. IT, geography, and biology. I'm sorry, I stopped because I was a little confused. So just 15% of student. All right, I didn't really like this. It was just the one noticeable thing. It just feels very conversational. It certainly doesn't really feel like appropriate to an IELTS task 1. So you could have said something like, therefore, it is clear that just 15% of the students prioritize the 3 subjects. All right, so on the whole, I thought this was okay. Your essay led me to ask myself a question. I just want to look at some of the data here before I continue.
All right, the data was fine. I like that you did this. Almost half of the total students chose physical education and history. So what you did is, because there wasn't a lot of information here, you kind of summarized, and that was good. You did it here and you did it here. You also did it here in your overview, kind of. So I liked it. I think that's the right direction to go in when you've got a task like this where there's just so little data to work with. Maybe you could have signposted it a little bit better. And by that, I mean maybe you could have put like a linking device to let your reader know that you are kind of wrapping up this paragraph, like a therefore. So here, for example, you could have said, hence, it is clear that 15% of the students prioritize 3 subjects, IT, geography, and biology. So that would have been one thing here. Or here you could have said a therefore, almost half of the total students chose physical education. So just giving a nice little signpost to show us that, okay, now I'm concluding this paragraph. I think that would have been helpful. Alternatively, what you could have done is you could have written these sentences in the beginning of your paragraph, which also would have worked nicely. All right, so let's take a look now at your, okay, this is about online communication. Let me just see if I can extend this a little bit. There is no doubt that online meetings have grown in importance since the introduction of some online services. In my opinion, while there are more benefits of the online meeting, there are also some downsides to consider. This essay will explain both sides using examples from the UK government and MIT to demonstrate and describe points. Okay, let's just take a look at one thing here. All right. Do the advantages of this shift outweigh the disadvantages? Okay, that's what you said you're going to talk about, the advantages and the disadvantages. That's fine. Okay. Fine, let's move on. On one hand, the issue of internet privacy and security has grown in importance over the last couple of years. That is to say, online communication it is a potent threat to be hacked by illegitimate hackers so that any confidential document or any individual or company can be leaked or manipulated by web-based wrongdoers. A recent UK government study, for example, shows that incidents, so get rid of that, incidents like stealing passwords or protective documents, maybe protected documents and accounts, have been increasing at an unprecedented rate in recent years. Although, you don't put a comma after although it cannot be denied that this type of interaction needs a strong internet connection and appropriate devices, which could be a hassle for a company that performs their activities. Okay, so you've got a problem with this sentence. You see, you can't use although like this. Although needs to combine two opposing ideas, two opposing sentences. This is just one side of one sentence, okay? So you probably needed to attach this although to the sentence before that. But as you can probably imagine, that would have become an enormous sentence, really, really very cumbersome. So what I'm going to suggest instead is get rid of although and here put in a however. However can be used like this, where you put it in the beginning of the sentence, you only need one clause, and then you put a comma after the word. So this would have been okay. Okay. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that this communication system needs it needs stronger privacy policies and a strong cellular network even at the remotest places. Okay. I have a question about this, but I want to mention it a little later on. On the other hand, workers can not be benefited. Workers can benefit, keep it in the active voice, from web meetings in multiple ways. To clarify, since this is arranged from cry for, no, you don't mean, no, I think the expression is a far cry, but that's not what you want to say here. Since this is arranged from afar, one word, it helps to save money. It helps to save I don't know where I saw the word money. It helps to save some very valuable time and energy, and it does not require lots of money, but some megabytes. So it is very cheap as well. For instance, an empirical finding by MIT demonstrated that online communication applications like Google Meet have helped almost all American companies keep thriving even in the COVID-19 pandemic. It should be acknowledged that by using this type of communication platform, employees are becoming fit for the future technology-based era. Consequently, we can say without a doubt that job holders are getting many benefits by interacting on the internet. Let's read your conclusion. In conclusion, although online communication has some disadvantages as it has some security and availability issues, I firmly believe that the benefits it offers in numerous ways and preparing employees for the future far outnumber the drawbacks. Okay, so I want to talk about this essay, and I want to talk about it in terms of task achievement primarily. This essay topic is deceptively simple, and by that I mean it looks really easy, but it's actually a little more complex than it appears. Now, why do I say that? There are a couple of different things you're supposed to be talking about here. Look at the topic again. It says online communication is more common than face-to-face meetings. Do the advantages of this outweigh the disadvantages? So, yes, you're supposed to talk about the advantages and disadvantages. So, two sides of the argument. But the advantages and disadvantages of what? Just plain old online communication, its advantages and disadvantages, or something else? Well, to get a high scoring mark for task achievement, you are supposed to talk about something a little more than just the advantages and disadvantages of online communication. There is supposed to be some comparison here with face-to-face meetings, okay? Because they're talking about a shift from face-to-face meetings to online communications. So in essence, they're asking you the advantages and disadvantages about this shift, about this preference. So there's really supposed to be, for a high-scoring essay, some sort of comparison with face-to-face meetings. Okay? You didn't really talk about them at all. You only talked about the advantages and disadvantages of online communication. Um, let's see. You said it was cheap. You said it helped people thrive and that they were more fit for a technology-based era. Okay. And then here you talked about security threats and strong cellular network, a need for a strong cellular network as the disadvantages. Okay, yeah, so there wasn't anything about the face-to-face communication. And that's what I wanted to see here in order for this to earn a higher score in task achievement. So all you really need to do is you need to look at the band descriptors for task achievement where it says covers all parts of the task. I didn't feel like this covered all parts of the task because you left out the whole thing about face-to-face meetings. I do think that a higher scoring essay would address them. Some sort of comparison throughout the essay, okay? But there were some good elements here. For sure, your coherence and cohesion were nicely done. You did support. You had a variety of linkers. Let me see one thing about your linking devices. Okay, you had a nice variety. And so on the whole, I thought you did a nice job. Okay, be aware of this. Be aware of the complexity of the topics. This is something that all too many students do. They simplify the topic, and the ability to really understand the nuance of the topic is one of the things that separates a good essay from a really, really good essay. So keep that in mind for your future tasks, okay? Good job on the whole, and I'll be looking forward to more essays. Good luck.